everyone. Welcome to the program. This is Sunday Politics live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimale, live for you here in Abuja. Every election season brings with it familiar promises, new alliances, and renewed hope. But this moment feels some kind of difference. Across the country, Nigerians are asking perhaps the most important question of all. Who has the ideas, the courage, and the leadership to turn the country around? Tonight, we sit down with one of the men at the center of that national conversation, a former two-term governor of Anambra State, the Labour Party's presidential candidate in 2023, now the National Democratic Congress's presidential candidate for 2027, and one of Nigeria's most influential political figures, Mr. Peter Gregory Obi. From the economy and electricity to insecurity, coalition politics, party defections, transparency, and the criticism that have followed his political journey, nothing is off the table in this conversation. Beyond the headlines and the campaign rhetoric, this is an opportunity to hear directly from the man seeking Nigeria's highest office. Can he convince Nigerians that he has a vision, the strategy, and the leadership to meet this defining moment? I sat down with Mr. Peter Obi. It's a pleasure having you on the program.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations, by the way. You've climbed the ladder of being an elder statesman, because at that age, a lot of people imagine that one will have attained the status of an elder statesman. How do you feel?
Well, I thank God for His grace, because whenever we wake up in the morning, we can only do one thing: thank God for His grace, because we're here by His grace. And wherever we go, I travel around every day, move around. Mine is to give gratitude to God Almighty for allowing me to be there.
At that age, you were able to reflect, did you? And in that your reflection, what would you say you want to dedicate the rest of your life to?
Well, I've done that since when I was 50, where I said, now what I want to do is to help in impacting humanity. And that's what I've been doing since I was 50. But I have regrets that not much have improved in my country, considering that every year we're headed south, where more and more people are being impoverished, more and more people have children are out of school, or things are going wrong in the right direction. So you feel pain. But I'm going to increase my effort in whatever I'm doing. My joy will be there, will create a Nigeria that is united and peaceful, and people are happy to say, we're Nigerians.
There's a feeling, and I'm not sure you've said this. If you've said it, maybe you can clarify, that Peter Obi's wanting to change Nigeria, because that seems to be your mantra. Peter Obi wanting to fix Nigeria. And as such, that if that doesn't happen by being the president of Nigeria in 2027, you're done. Is that the idea?
Well, that's not the idea. I do this privately. I've always said, I'm not desperate to be Nigerian president. I'm desperate to see Nigeria work. So if it's working, I'll support whatever makes it to work. I want to see a country where, keep saying it every day, a child of nobody can be somebody without knowing anybody, where we can pull people out of poverty, where young ones will have opportunity to live, get a job, be entrepreneurial, participate in what young people do all over the world.
So it doesn't matter if Peter Obi is the president or not. So far, Nigeria is good. You're fine with it.
Why not?
So, and in any capacity that you are able to help, either a minister or a president, that's okay.
I don't even need to hold any post. You don't need to hold any post. I'm contesting because I believe that I will fix it. I will unite the country and be able to do it to show an example of what is possible.
But there are those who do not think that you've got what it takes to unite the country. You just mentioned uniting Nigeria. On Politics Today, the former governor of Borno State, incidentally, when he left office was about the time that you were entering to become governor of Anambra State. And he mentioned to say that...
No, I was there before I left office.
Yeah, so just, I mean, he was exiting, your tenure coincided at some point. You were in office at some point when he also was in office. And he said, people should not look in your direction because you will divide Nigeria, that you do not have what it takes to unite Nigeria. How do you react to such a statement?
So that's directly opposite of what I would do. I will unite Nigeria. And I know what it takes to unite Nigeria.
And what will that be?
Sheriff. Am I right?
Mm-hmm. Alimudu Sheriff.
Alimudu Sheriff. If you look at my record, what he said is opposite. At the onset, while he was still governor, I was there at the onset of this Boko Haram issue. His own brother was killed. So I traveled to Borno State to condole him. When people don't want to go there, I went to Borno State. It's on record. So they've been flooding in Borno State. I went there, contributed about 50 million naira, visited the governor, visited the show of Borno. I visited IDP camp in Borno. I've been to most troubled part of the north, be it Katsina, Kebbi. I've been to Plateau up to 4 times, visiting the various affected communities when there's killing and everything. Spend time in IDP camp, help even communities that are affected to rebuild their schools for their children, went to the IDP camps, supported them. I've done that in Benue. I spent Christmas, New Year in IDP camps. So I've built boreholes in Gombe, in Kaduna, in every part of the north. When University of Sokoto said, the University of Sokoto Agricultural Faculty said, all they need is borehole for their farm, I did it. And I visited schools in Sokoto, even when Tamoa was governor. I can go on and on. I've done the same thing in the Southwest. I've been to schools, in Kogi, schools of nursing. I've visited hospitals all over Nigeria. There's no politician today in Nigeria who has been able to travel places I've been by road, from Kafanchan to Katsina to Maiduguri to everywhere. I've traveled all over the place by road. Because I want the country to be together.
And you understand that.
And I'm experiencing it. So for him to, what he's saying is direct opposite of what I'll do. And I do show you an example by going to all these places. But how many places have other people gone? Have you ever seen people in government today, even today, saying we're going to visit this place because of this and everything? Even in the recent Oyo distance, I visited the governor. Go ask governors of other places whether it's for anything. Whenever there's issue, I call them. And I try to visit them. Whenever there's fire in Kanu, in everything, I will go there.
Mr. Obi, don't you think that this is probably not about Peter Obi? Because any person that understands the Nigerian history, from the Civil War to the post-Civil War, would think, I imagine, that we have not totally healed. And there's a segment of this country that have not been fully integrated in terms of the politics of this country. Whether or not an Igbo man can become president of Nigeria, do you think that we have moved away from the Civil War syndrome and we have totally healed such that an Igbo man like Peter Obi from Anambra State, an Onitsha man, will one day become Nigeria's president?
That is the beginning of the That is the foundation of the healing. And that is where you start to build the momentum and build Nigeria.
And why?
That would be, that is the beginning. So a P2P presidency will commence the healing and the unity that is required to stabilize and build a better Nigeria. That's why I said a new Nigeria is possible.
How do we?
Because everybody will be inclusive.
How do we deal with the Kaduna Insugu tagged coup? Because that seems to have been a major wound that a lot of Nigerians still don't think that they can trust an Igbo man to become president.
At any particular point in time, know that you cannot be trapped in the process of yesterday. Those who are trapped in the process of yesterday must meet the future. There must be a time to know that we are the same. We must come together. Yes, we have a history, but we must not be trapped in it. It must not deprive us tomorrow. Those who are trapped in the process of yesterday and today will miss tomorrow. I want to drive this country to tomorrow. I want the child of Nigeria to be able to grow up in Nigeria, go to school, live his life without thinking about his tribe, without thinking about yesterday, without thinking about his religion, but as a Nigerian, and be proud of it. And we're going to do that. That is exactly what I am offering the people. I will never divide Nigeria. I will unite Nigeria. I will show love to every part of Nigeria and make sure things are done differently because I'm going to involve everybody.
I'd like to look into this camera, Mr. Obi, because every northerner that is watching through that lens tonight, we wonder whether or not they can trust an Igbo man. What would you say to them tonight that you, Peter Obi, can be trusted to become Nigeria's president and the lives, the destiny and the politics of the northern man is safe in your hands?
Sure, I've changed the north. I have an idea what is happening in the north. And nobody can drive that process today in Nigeria that I've seen in the politics better than me. I will work with them and I'll ensure that that unity, that security, that prosperity they desire, I will unleash, I will commence it. And I'll show it. Shall I will work closely with people in the north. I have an idea of what is happening in the north. I have an idea that is to have massive poverty that needs to be dealt with. I have an idea of to deal with the issue of education and health properly, not listen, and I'll deal with it decisively.
If you look at it, there are those who say we have not healed totally from the 1966 up to the 70. What would you do? You saw what happened in South Africa. There are those who say we need to reconcile. We need to sit at a table, look eyeball to eyeball. The generation of those who are 30-year-old today, who are 20-year-old today, who do not know the pains of the 1966 and 1970. Do you? I mean, they had a moment of reconciliation where they had a committee for reconciliation. Do you think that we need a moment of sitting down as a people to reconcile and think about what happened in the Civil War and move forward?
We need to have, I said before and I repeat, my presidency will heal and unite Nigeria.
That's what you stand for. Are you going to set up a committee? Or you are going to...
No, it's not pushing so that the actions of the presidency will show what we're going to do.
Tell me about what Alimodu also said about northern tags. And you have been accused of labeling northerners. How do you respond to that?
Sure, that's the lie. It never happened. Sure, Sheriff's ABC is from the north. Most governors choose their ABC, who is the closest person from them, from their own. My ABC is from Kaduna, and is a Muslim. ABC was a Muslim. still a Muslim. So how can you have a Muslim as the closest person to you, you're giving this report? All the commissioners that served me in 8 years I was in office were Muslims. We're not actually a Muslim, but I'm from the north. So how did I give them tax? People from the north. So before I became governor, my closest or my 2 closest staff from the bank were from Kano. All the people I have, even military friends, were all from the north. So before I became president, I've always to date paid for at least, let me even because at least a Muslim every year to go to Hajj, every year. And I have records of them. As governor, I was paying for Christians to go for pilgrimage. I was paying for Muslims living in Anambra to go to Hajj. They are there. I'm sure while he was governor in Borno State, he never paid for any Christian to go to pilgrimage. I was paying for Muslims to go to pilgrimage. So how can I be giving them back? And I can go on and on. I'll show you what I'm doing now privately on my own, going to do borehole. As I speak to you, say I'm supporting 4 Almajiri schools in Kaduna, in Bauchi, and this, I'm supporting School of Nursing in Bauchi, in Kaduna, the Muslim school, and I can go on and on. So you see, people, these are things they've done in the past to keep Nigeria divided.
Well, are there things that you have done in the past that you regret about the optics and how you were profiled, and you thought that maybe it's something that you need to change, that you have done wrongly, to make you look like you are ethnic jingoist?
That's what I'm saying. This is the what they do. Instead of us discussing the problem of the country, people come before you to discuss P2B, P2B, P2B. That's not the issue. World Bank has just said that 79% of Nigerians are going to face poverty. In a country of 230 million people, that's over 180 million. That should be the issue we should be discussing.
When they are mentioning...
They should be talking about issue of out-of-school children, talking about the issue of health, and all these monies that are missing here and there that would have invested properly. Nobody is discussing it.
When politicians come on my program and they keep mentioning your name, how does that make you feel?
Well, it's not about what they're discussing about me. Calling me name doesn't make me feel anything. But they are abandoning issues we are supposed to discuss. And discussing what I think is irrelevant.
Do you think mentioning your name shows that you are a real threat and a man to beat in this election?
Well, it's, like I said, this election in 2027 should be about issues that affect the ordinary Nigerian who don't know what the World Food Organization have just said. 35 million Nigerians are going to face hunger. Of course, Nigerians are being kidnapped. Let's talk about Nigeria.
Let me ask quickly, because I like to settle some of the major issues that I think are very significant and give you a chance of a right of reply. Because when Mr. Alimodu Sheriff also said that no matter what, even with a Kwankwaso as your running mate, you still cannot win the North.
Like I said, that is what they've been able to say to keep us divided. That's what they will always say to ensure that the people continue to live all this confusion that we are in today, this mess that we're in today. And that's what we want to dismantle. We want to ensure the ordinary Nigerian that a P2B Kwankwaso government will change this country for good and be able to allow the poor Nigerians to start living differently.
It takes me to the point that Mr. Kwankwaso himself made on Politics Today when he said that there is a pact that you will only serve out 4 years if you win the election. Did you have an agreement to that effect?
I've said this thing several times, Shehu. We have what you can call unwritten agreement. We're gentlemen. We must respect it. I don't need more than 4 years to show the path Nigeria will trade. It is a simple thing.
Was it written? Did you sign an agreement with NDC?
It is NDC demanded that everybody. I preach it. So even if you want me to sign it with you, I sign it with you. It doesn't bother me. A day more than 4 years, not B2B. I want us to start trusting our leaders. So when I was going to become a governor, I said the things I would do. And when I came in, I started doing it. I told everybody, go and listen to my campaign. I said, I will manage their money efficiently. I will do stop. Nobody will, schools will work, health will work. Everything I said, and I did it. That's the way, that's the way to work. Leaders, our people have lost trust in our leaders. That's why I always say we need to deal with the issue of character. The character of a leader must be consistent in doing the right thing. And whatever he says, even if you don't achieve 100% of it, people must see 100% effort in doing that. And I said, and I repeat again, I will serve for 4 years. Capital, if you want to be capital, 4 years, not a day more.
Why do you think that you need only 4 years? Because there are those who policy and governance experts who have said your definition of 4 years or your stance of 4 years will not get the job done. That in the first, just a moment, sir. Your first budget is not your own. The second budget, you will struggle to make it happen. Third year, you are still trying to understand the room. Fourth year, you are done. Is this about defeating Bola Tinubu, or this is just a sheer policy goal that you have set up for yourself?
So you can change and start driving this vehicle called Nigeria in the wrong direction in 6 months. We are headed in the wrong direction now.
As it is right now?
Yes.
Bola Tinubu is leading us nowhere.
That's your... You can see it. That's why people might say I call for his resignation. That's why maybe I'm calling for his retirement. He doesn't listen.
The man should just go step aside.
Yes, so they have the capacity to do the job.
You don't trust him any longer.
No. The Bola Tinubu that was governor is not the one that is president today. He's tired. He should be allowed to retire in peace and go home.
But look at what Donald Trump said. Donald Trump's letter to him is to the effect that the man has done well in terms of fighting insurgency and terrorists. What do you say to that?
Thank you to Donald Trump. Thank you to President Tinubu. But we need to do more. Far more than what we are doing. I'm not saying far more than what we are doing. You know, I've heard people, and Donald Trump is now confirming it, say he has done his best. But what the crisis we are facing, his best is not enough. We need to do more. On Wednesday, 40 people were abducted in Zamfara. And the entire community, everybody is packing to run away. On Thursday, 50 in Sokoto. So we're in a crisis situation that requires added capacity.
What would you do differently if you were president?
I've said it several times. So I will be far more committed in dealing with that issue. And I will be at the forefront. I'll be the driver. Nobody. It's not just, I will visit there, I will go there, I'll deal with it. Everybody will see it. He can't do it there, not because he doesn't have the capacity.
How would you fix insecurity? Precisely. What exactly? Give us 3 things you would do to ensure that insecurity is dealt with.
First, I will not disclose it in the open, but I'll be far more committed. We will ensure that our security architecture is properly hit, staffed, supported, and just telling you the one that is open, supported, and will ensure that we work with all our partners, and we will do it with much more commitment.
So you get foreign help?
Whatever is possible to secure the country, we will do.
What would you say is, from your own point of view, would you say is the biggest and the most concerning problem or challenge of insecurity in Nigeria today?
Well, a combination of so many things. Poverty. You can't create mass poverty and think you can deal with insecurity. You need to deal with it. The more you put people out of poverty, the more you reduce criminality. So I will tackle that. So I will deal with so many other issues. You need to invest in education massively. And you know, I and Papa also believes in education. We'll be hands-on. Everybody will see it. Everybody will feel it. We'll be very, very decisive. No, this, because we'll be in charge.
You'll be moving around to ensure that at every point you are seen to be doing the job.
I'm moving around now without being in office.
But you know, as a president, you might not be able to do much of it.
No, I'm in Plateau. I went to the villages.
But
I went to the places.
You are not a president. I've been a president, the security and the restrictions.
No, which restriction? If your people are dying, you should be ready to die. You are the president. You are number 1 person.
So you will go to the ground zero whenever anything happens.
Whatever it takes to secure any Nigerian, I will do that.
You'll be more mobile.
If you don't want to do it, you go. That's why I said you retire in peace. Go and ask. I can show you 6 places in Anambra State where we had crisis. I went there. When we had in Dominican College, where I was in Abatete, we had a situation where numbered criminals invaded the school at night. I was there physically. I didn't ask people to go for Mocha. I left, I was there by 3 a.m. Physically, I didn't tell anybody. And you can go ask them of other places. They will tell you.
Give me a moment, sir. Peter Obi won in Lagos in the last election. Is he capable of doing it again? Will be my next question to him after this break. Jonathan. Thanks so much, everyone, for staying with us. NDC presidential candidate Peter Obi has been speaking with us right here on the program. Thanks so much indeed. Why does it look like you don't get a lot of the support of most or some political figures in the Southeast that you imagine that as an Igbo man running from that region, you should get a lot of their support? Why so?
A lot of this is a political figure.
A lot of the political heavyweights from the Southeast.
Well, it depends on the ones you're talking about. You know, I think for somebody who won the entire zone with an average of 80%, I think I'm getting all the support.
So if the big ones, the big heavyweights are not supporting you, it doesn't matter. I mean, so far you have the popularity of the vote.
Well, all over Nigeria, I don't think those who are living off the confusion will want to support me. Change, if you're bringing change, you have for enemy all those who live off the old order. Simple. It's all over the world. when you advocate for change, even you say we will not want change, some people are living off this old order. Some people are benefiting from it. Some people think they will benefit from it tomorrow. But I'm going to bring what will benefit the larger population of Nigeria.
Can you name 3 Southeasterners that you think that are backing you, that are supporting you?
Well, this is not time to name anybody.
No, I'm saying that they say charity begins at home.
The Southeast is backing me. That's why I have 80% of the vote. Naming one or the other, who do you know? Is you guys calling this one important, that one less important? So every Nigeria is very important. Every one of us is very important. We are children of God. All those things you're saying this one is important, either people who by grace of God, they make, maybe they make money, which is not a measure of humanity. So as I'm concerned.
Now, give us an idea of how you think this election will pan out. You must have a different strategy, don't you? 31 governors in the APC. Does that dim your hope of going into this election and winning it? Because there are those who will say it was by mistake. In fact, there are those who say winning, you did not defeat Bola Tinubu in Lagos. It was the Muslim ticket that caused whatever happened. Do you think that was a fluke? Can you do it again? Can you beat Bola Tinubu in Lagos? Can you beat Atiku in Adamawa? Can you really have a dramatic turnaround in your outing this time around?
So, the 36 governors will support the president. So it won't be only 31, 36. I want to give all the governors to. But 36 people in the state are not with them. Because they're hungry. It's a different thing than saying the governor is supporting him. Are the people with the governor in supporting him? The answer is no. What I'm only asking for is free, fair, and credible election, which will go down as a part of his legacy. It will go down as part of his legacy.
You believe you won 2023 election?
Sure, I did. I did.
You think you were rigged out?
Yes.
You think the numbers were cooked?
Yes.
Do you think that this 2027 election will be fair and fair?
That's what I'm pleading with them. That's what I want them to do. And that's what I'm begging the youth whose life at stake, whose future at stake, to come out and join me in demanding. We are now demanding free, fair, and credible election. And it will go down as part of his legacy. He has campaigned that he's a Democrat. He has fought for democracy. This is time to prove it. When Yar'Adua became president, he said, the process to which I came into office is faulty, and I'm going to ensure that it does not happen again, even if I have to lose. And he did it, demonstrated it by all his actions. All the subsequent election after him, we are free, fair, and credible. I contested second term of them, and nothing happened. And when he left, Jonathan continued in that direction. That was why people like me, Ushomole, and others were able to win election as for second term, because they were time, and eventually, when APC won, as president, he accepted it. He can do the same thing. He is not president. This is time to prove his democratic credential, which he preaches, claims, and everything.
To capacity manifesto, how you are prepared for this. It is important for Nigeria to know what people really stands for, what you do different. Opposition is looking at you. I mean, so you have contacts under different political parties. You've gone from APGA to PDP, Labour Party, Your critics argue that your political journey, your loyalty is from President any part.
Sure. Major political heavyweights have done the same movement, including the president. From AC
from AD to AC, AC to ACN, ACN to APC.
You are the one now.
But that was not a movement, it was a morph.
No,
the party morphed.
No, whatever you call it, it is your own choice. So everybody has been moving, so it's not peculiar to me.
No, I'm saying that was actually not a movement. That was a party that was transforming from one thing to the other.
Thank you. That was a party that was transforming. This is a person that is also transforming. So it was all transformation that we are moving. So for me, there's no party that have today an ideology in Nigeria.
So you don't believe in ideology?
No. I said there's none. Otherwise, the ideology of APC will be if you're corrupt and you move to APC, you're no longer corrupt.
So most of the political parties are the same?
Basically.
So it doesn't matter where you are?
Basically. What we are looking for with importance, sharing, and with Nigerians you look at, is the competence of the person, the capacity, the compassion, the character and commitment. Wherever I find myself, I've continued to preach that I'm going to change here. And those things you're saying will come if you have a good person in office. For example, part of my movement, because the people in government have refused to have stability within the polity. I will support opposition. I will encourage opposition. I will ensure that opposition parties function as good as party in government.
Is the government of the day doing that?
No, they are doing the opposite.
Are they killing opposition?
The president said that he's happy when opposition are having problems. That is his word. And all his people are doing it, and because of it, they are destroying the legislature, they are destroying the judiciary. If I'm president today, most of the things you're seeing in our polity will not exist. I will encourage strong opposition parties to emerge. I will remove some of the restrictions that are happening today, where even the regulator INEC is interfering in party activities. Their job will be strictly to ensure that they conduct free, fair, and credible election. The parties are free to choose who is their candidate, who they want to present, and I will ensure that once after election, I will take the law to the National Assembly. After election, you cannot change your party. You can only change your party during the election. After election, if you change your party, the party that won that election will replace you immediately, within 48 hours. That's what you have all over the world. So you bring sanity in all this rascality that is happening.
One criticism is being repeatedly leveled against you is that instead of helping to build enduring political institutions, you move to whichever platform best advances your presidential ambition. How do you respond
to Nigerians? How many parties have I moved? PDP. They go and put fire in this one.
You've been on the ballot at the presidential level 3 times now. On 3 different
I went
VP.
I went from PDP when it is no longer, it has nothing to do with presidential, when the things were no longer being done according to the rules. I left PDP. One day you see my write-up why I left PDP, and I went to Labour. And they came there, same group of people, instituted fire on it, and want me to stay there and get burned, and I moved. to ADC, and they have, and I moved to ADC. Since I went into ADC, and they've carried the same fire all over the place. You know.
But why don't you stay to help build?
What are you going to build?
You always like to go to where things are safe and easy.
No, sir, if they put this building on fire now, and you will leave to where it is safe. Simple. That's what is happening.
Why should party members in the NDC think that you will be committed to the party? That in any little crisis you leave?
If everything is conducive, if there's no problem, why would they believe? That's why I said, I, as president, will encourage the opposition parties. Let me tell you, Shehu, what is happening in ADC now, happening in NDC, happening in Labour, will never happen if I'm president of Nigeria. Anybody that tries to do it, even the judiciary, giving us of ruling, you will see what will happen. We must build institutions, and those institutions must allow for fairness. Because I want a strong opposition. I want to have ideas of the opposition. I want to invite them to a meeting when we discuss Nigeria. Sure, if I'm in office and face the crisis we are facing in the north today, I'm going to invite all opposition leaders to the north. We'll go there, sit down with the stakeholders, and find solution to this.
That's what you do.
Precisely. We cannot be doing things where we think that somebody is opposition. We are only competing during the elections. After elections, I am in charge. I will invite everybody.
But give me an idea what keeps you awake at night about NDC and its legal problem. This logo and identity problem. There are those who think that might be a problem of you being able to run NDC.
It's not a problem. It's something that has been dealt with. It's the same thing I'm telling you.
The matter is still in court.
No. Even that has been dealt with in the previous judgment before their registration. But unfortunately, because people are thriving in this confused system, they want to bring it back. You cannot bring it back through the back door and everything.
Let's deal with
Even at that, what does it pretend? Shame is a very straightforward thing.
So you have hopes that things will go well.
This is even being challenged by a non-political party, an association, and everything. Why do we like confusion? Shame, I will not encourage confusion. As governor of Anambra State, Shame, it was the most peaceful 8 years of Anambra State. You know Anambra before I became governor was very troublesome, was very distant. In 8 years, I was able to work there. Share my 30 members of my House of Assembly were PDP. 3 senators from Anambra were PDP. 11 House of Rep members under me was PDP. I work with them. Go and ask all of them. When we did this second tenure election, you can go and ask anybody.
But you were not able to conduct local government elections?
No, because there were a lot of litigations. This is what I'm telling you. There were a lot of court litigations from different groups, from different things, which are things I couldn't control. But I can tell you, during my second tenure election, go and ask anybody. Or even before that. Right? Obasanjo came to campaign for Andy Uba. I accompanied him to the campaign. Everybody was there. My own House of Assembly passed vote of no confidence on me. I was inside that house. I didn't quarrel with them. And I followed them to places. ACN, my second tenure, ACN people came to campaign for Dr. Chris Ngige. Fashola is still there. Fashola called me, was a governor. I gave them my vehicle. He came, Mushomole, everybody came and campaigned for Dr. Chris Ngige. There was no issue. Dr. Ojikaru came to campaign for Uche Kunife. In fact, when he finished the Greek campaign, I gave them lunch. They ate in my house. Go ask former speaker, let me remember his name, from Southwest.
Femba Jabiamela?
No. Former defense.
That Dimeji Bankole.
Go ask Bankole. He came to do primary for PDP in Anambra State. Ask him where he ate lunch. I was the governor. It was from my house he went to do. So I brought harmony. It was peaceful. Nobody was quarreling with you. That you can do. That's the type of
at the national level, you will replicate that.
Straight away.
You don't mind if there is a majority in the National Assembly that are not of your political party.
They will see it. And those people, one of the governors came there and asked my speaker, why people, he said, when you work with this man, we're talking about the future of our society. The future will benefit everybody.
Let's talk about what you will do differently in your manifesto, but I'd like you to clarify this and probably lay it to rest. The narrative about you never building a school during your time as governor in Anambra State, can you clarify it once and for all? Mr. Peter Obi, did you build any school? If not, why so?
I built modern schools.
Which are the schools that you built?
Okay, let me even start from tertiary institution. I built, if you go to today, Odumegwu Ojukwu University, which is our state university, there's a place called Ibariam campus. So I cut the grass. You know what I mean? It was a bush. I leveled the bush. If you go there from Faculty of Law, Faculty of Agriculture, I built all of them from scratch. From scratch. So I built the fastest teaching hospital in this country. In Oka, the fastest. The Medical and Dental Council closed down our faculty as I was assuming office and said, we cannot continue College of Medicine because they have no teaching hospital. And I said, no, we have people who are already in their third year. I'm going to build it for them. Give me 2 years. So we are building it from the scratch. I can go on and on. When I became governor, there was no single school of nursing, midwifery, laboratory scientists, lab tech that was accredited by the council that is supposed to accredit them. So by the time I left, they were over 10. Go there and see the buildings. So when I came in, look at the land where we were in school, where we were in education. I brought it to number 1. I did not just build schools. So I equipped them. Till date, I don't know, maybe it changed yesterday. I bought the highest number of desktop computer ever bought by a government in Sub-Saharan Africa, in Sub-Saharan Africa.
In Anambra.
In Anambra State. Go and check. Go and call HP. I'm calling international call. Go and look at I put internet in all our secondary school. I can go on and on. You bought vehicles. No other state has been able to buy vehicles for all their secondary school. 500. Bought generators for them. I'm talking about over 500 schools. Visited them as governor. I can go on and on.
You always talk about the performance of Anambra State in education.
In health.
Yeah.
In every other.
And your critics have said that they say you champion miracle centers during your time. Hence, the results showed high pass rate. When your predecessor sanitized the place, the poor results showed.
You know, when I talk about things, I talk about verification. Can they show you the miracle centers? Check the schools that drove our results are schools like Dennis Memorial Grammar School in Onitsha, Christ the King College Onitsha, KRC Onitsha. I can call the schools. These are first-class institutions that are doing well. I just gave you an example of 3. I'm inviting you. I'm in Onitsha tomorrow. Come and show you all these schools. When people, I don't want to compare. I don't call names. And I don't compare one government to another. What I did is what I'm telling you. What I did, I just showed you now. Every school had a lab. For me, I visited the schools. I did everything. Every senior prefect had my phone number. It was working. I was going there. I was encouraging.
Do you still know them by name? Do they still call you up to now?
Of course, most of them still send me texts. Yes.
Up to now?
Yes.
Do you know them by name?
No, not all by name, but I know them. Senior prefect of this school, senior prefect of that school. That's what I knew. And we were working together. I was visiting their schools. Go and ask anybody who was in secondary school when I was there. Did I visit their school? To encourage them.
Let me ask you, do you have a manifesto yet for the 2027 election?
Of course, I had the one I used last time, which is now being looked into and updated in line with the realities of today.
What would be your three most significant priorities that you would like to accomplish? What would that be?
One is to unite the country. The country is not united today. It's divided among ethnic and religious lines. You must remove that and show people that we are one. Two is to secure the country. The country must be secured. Three, you must return the country where there's rule of law and order. People must be sure, know that they are citizens of this country. If there's anything, they go to our court and they will obtain justice. And then you now commence the development part. Invest massively in education. Of course, there are people like us also who believe in it, and we will throw everything to it. And education, in health, and then put people out of poverty. And that education must not be education for the sake of it. It must be education that we have them to train people in skill, so basic education, and then skill acquisition, which you will support to be entrepreneurial, because we want small businesses to support. Nobody today say we can start a small business. You can't start at 25%. The government doesn't care about the poor people. We will care about them.
All right, give me another moment, sir. We'll go on the break, but when we come back, Mr. Peter Obi always talks about from consumption to production. What exactly does that mean? In a country where a lot of Nigerians are unemployed, but the Bola Tinubu government will say they have dealt with the macroeconomic side of the economy of this country. Welcome back, everyone. Let's get back to the conversation. This time around, let's kick off with your popular slogan, from consumption to production. That is what you have said. And I'd like to find out from you. That phrase is associated with you from moving from consumption to production. But there are those who have argued that it has become more or less like a slogan rather than a detailed economic program. What exactly does that transition look like in practical terms?
So let me start with food security. This country can produce enough of what we can eat. And we can actually make more money from agriculture than we make from oil. Because as it is today, we have vast uncultivated land. So we're talking about this. The most consumed food in Nigeria, I believe, is rice. From my own studies, is rice. And this country produces annually about, call it less than 10 million tons of a milled rice, which will even be worse now that we have used cheap importation to kill our farmers. So we can do more. And I just give you a comparable country with large population, or far more dense, with less land space, they are doing more. Bangladesh. Bangladesh today, Shehu, produces about 50 to 60 million tons of a milled rice. In fact, they are now about number 3 or 4 globally. The size of Bangladesh, Shehu, is about 148,000 square kilometers of land. And they have about 170 million people. So you could see the density. The size of Bangladesh, Shehu, is size of our 2 biggest states. Niger State at 76.3 and Borno at 70.8 is actually 147. So these two is almost the size of Bangladesh. In terms of population, they are about 10% of the population of Bangladesh. You could see the size of this and see what I mean by production. You can't get that working. I don't want to compare us with first world because people don't want us to be compared with first world. Otherwise, a tiny place like Netherlands gets from export every year of agricultural produce of over 120 million euros, about 120 billion euros, which is about $130 billion. That is 3 times what we earn from oil. And they are just 33,000 square kilometers. When you minus, they are 41 with water, you minus water, they are 33. That is Niger State is 2.5 the size of Netherlands at 76.3.
So you literally turn Nigeria into a production ground.
Niger State today is virtually occupied by terrorists. When they have vast uncultivated land that is fertile, you can put resources behind and turn it around and be able. And this is not just these 2 states. If you go, Sambisa Forest is giving us problem. Everybody is talking about Sambisa Forest and everything. The Sambisa area is 60,000 square kilometers. That's 2 times, twice the size of Belgium. Belgium is just 30,000 square kilometers, and they feed themselves and they export goods. To tell you, Morocco today is exporting food, agricultural products to Europe. If you go to Casablanca, to Port of Tangier, on both sides, it's farmland. We can turn this. I can go on and on. Look at Taraba, 54 point something thousand. With Mambila, where you can do tea, coffee. Look at Ethiopia now. Is making over $1 billion from export of coffee. Kenya is making almost $500 million from export of flour. If you go and see during Valentine's, planes going to, and this is what we can cultivate. By doing this, you get youth employed. I've been to flower fields in Kenya. You see young people being paid equivalent of $100 a month. They're happy, they're employed. You go to coffee fields, Ethiopia, everywhere, you see young people, they are being employed, they're being paid basic money. I've been to prisons here and seen young people and I ask them, why did you do what? They said they have no job. How much were you paid in the last operation? They were just paid 50,000, 100,000, which has now been justified by so many comments you've heard, even from Hakim Baba Ahmed, who said that when their relation was kidnapped, that the money they always give to the small boys are taken away by one big man. So they pay those small boys. So if you replace that by giving them job, you will see it. So if you go to Kano today, you will find out there's a problem in Kano because all the factories that used to be in Bombay, Shadan 1, Shadan 2, have all collapsed. These are things you need
What
to...
would you do specifically? You sound like you want to turn Nigeria into a food processing and production zone.
I'm just studying from agriculture.
Yeah.
From there, you enter into manufacturing. The only way you can pull Nigeria out of poverty or even increase the so-called GDP you want to pursue to trillion is through production, not through consumption. And that production is agriculture, which will give you the food you need, give you some basic raw material for your factories, give you exports. And that you need is a win-win.
Would you be shutting down importation of food?
Without you employ labor. Yeah. If you can produce it, I'm just showing you a country, Bangladesh used to import rice. They've not done it, even Vietnam. They used to be importers of rice. They've not done it around.
How long will it take you? And give us an idea. How many food produce would you focus on? And how long do you think it can take you to revolutionize food production?
Let me tell you one thing. That's why people always say, you can't do it in 4 years. Let's start. Let people see it. No, like they said, nobody achieves it overnight. That they say Rome was not built overnight, but they saw Rome do foundation. They saw it going up. So people can have hope. What drives a process is hope. It is hope that gives people faith.
Like renewed hope agenda.
No. Hopelessness. You could see.
That's not the kind of hope you are talking about.
No, that one is renewed hopelessness. It's not working.
So the kind of hope you will bring is a real hope.
People will see it. They will feel it. And I will be speaking about
not audio hope.
No.
Real hope.
It's not
tangible hope.
It's not even audio now because the man we voted is not talking. That is why I keep saying we didn't vote all these characters that are talking. The first thing is that a leader must be speaking to the people. The person we voted in this country is Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He's no longer talking. He's not going into Aso Rock and turn the place into the bunker. We want him to come out of that bunker and speak to the people. Because with all these characters talking to us, we didn't vote them in. I will be speaking to the people. I'll be telling them, I said I will do this. This is what it is. That's why I said it will be commitment. Today, if you say now things are going wrong, or they have fake agents, they have this, people are talking. Where is the man we gave our mandate? He should be the one talking to you, talking to everybody. That's the person we want to hear.
That the people talking are standing on the mandate.
No, they cannot. Now, because we didn't give them the mandate. We didn't. He should come out of the bunker he's put himself to talk to us.
Mr. Obi, give us an idea, because I imagine that federal government or government are not the best producer of.
I didn't say federal government will produce. We will encourage
the private sector.
We will encourage entrepreneurship. We will encourage small businesses. So the first thing you do in a country is encourage small businesses. Every developing, even developed world, the biggest employer of labor is small businesses. Then you go to developing world, is this thing, go and compare us with Indonesia, where I spend weeks learning what they are doing. Today, 90% of the job in Indonesia is from small businesses. Those small businesses are supported by government. The Ministry of Small Businesses, they are supported by government, and they ensure them that they get loan at less than 10%. It's actually about 5%. How can you do small business, no government support, no training, nothing at 35%? It's impossible. We need to train our young ones in scale, support them financially to start a business and everything. Even in China, that we look at every day, 60% of the job overall in China is from small businesses. In fact, in urban area, so if you look at it, China have about 800 million people employed. So 480 million is small businesses. In urban area, it's actually up to 80%. And that's what we are talking.
Yeah.
So when we talk about production, you support small businesses, support big manufacturing firms and everything, create environment, find out, even visit the factories, see what is happening, and then listen to them. That's what it is.
Look, you talk about Ivory Coast, and one thing that comes to mind.
Ivory Coast?
I'm just giving an example.
Okay.
If you talk about Ivory Coast, one thing that Cote d'Ivoire, one thing that comes to mind is cocoa. You think about Ethiopia, you talk about sesame, you talk about coffee. And you mentioned several other countries, and you will be able to identify them with a produce, with a product that country is producing. In your own dream of Nigeria, what would you want Nigeria to be identified as an exportable product to the rest of the world?
You have to start with what you're eating first, so that you can reduce the import.
Can you give us 5 things or even 3 things that you think that Nigeria, under Peter Obi, if you become president, what are these 3 things
I gave you one example. I don't even need 3. Rice.
You think we can produce rice, consume rice, and export the rest to the rest of the world?
Why not? Why not?
How would you achieve it? How many tons how many farmlands, how many companies do you think you can get to work?
It's not how many.
What is the measurable indices for you to be able to make this happen?
If a tiny country like Bangladesh can do 50 to 60 million tons, almost 10 times what we can do, that means we can produce more by supporting our farmers. There's so many other products we have the advantage of dealing with. What we need to show is to secure the country, ensure that our farmers go back, use it because, one, the agriculture is huge employment area. Then you go to manufacturing. To build the economy, you must have a strong manufacturing base, and you must export your way. That's what other nations have done.
As a businessman, if you want to start a business right now, I imagine that you do your analysis, you do your survey, you do your business plan, you will prospect that business. Do you have a measurable plan of how you want to change things around in terms of production?
You've said it. Of all those who wants to serve and those who are serving, nobody has my background. I've built a business from scratch to where it is.
So do you have a plan for Nigeria in terms of food production?
So I know what to do to support small business.
What would you do?
I know what to do to support small businesses. I know what they need. So I've operated in the corporate world. So I know what is happening within the corporate world, including the banking and manufacturing, because I've been involved in manufacturing companies. I know what they're going through. I've been involved in governance. So nobody has had my vast experience. So I know, for example, that the biggest cost of manufacturing today is interest rate, power. These are things I'm going to work on. So I know the things that is keeping.
Would you drive interest rate down?
Of course, yes.
But these are determined by a set standard within the market.
I've operated there.
So you know how to go about it.
I know what to do.
It then brings me to this question. You have criticized aspects of the current economic reforms, but many economists have argued that subsidy removal and exchange rate reforms were unavoidable. Mr. Obi, how differently would you have implemented it?
And I campaigned that I will remove it. And I've said it every day, that within the subsidy, there was a criminal or corruption side of it, which you needed to eliminate in order to know the actual subsidy and go about in a gradual, organized removal and replacement with investment in other areas. By the way, we're still paying that subsidy. From what is happening now, they just called it different name. Because they're now talking about 7 trillion on the recovery or upfront recovery or whatever name they call it. So the action is still even when the food I will be able to be honest to the people. If our fuel is going to increase from, say, 200 or 300 to 1,000, I, who is elected, not via spokesperson, not via any other channel, will come out and say, this is why it will happen. And even when that is happening, that we are still going to pay this amount to make it 1,000. And whatever we are saving, we are going to put it in this place. People will hear it from me. I didn't say I'm going to engage anybody. No engagement of spokesperson, no minister, nobody. It's me that they gave their vote. It's me that will speak about it. No, not via anybody. And it will be seen. Everybody will know that this, we were told, we will stop borrowing. That we cannot be borrowing for this. We will use the savings in critical area of development.
Can you actually borrowing as a financial person? Is it a bad thing?
Say wait. Today, we are not paying subsidy. Say we've borrowed more, far more than when we were paying subsidy. Say we have generated more revenue from everywhere. Yet, nobody is seeing any improvement. What we've done is that when this government started, number of people that are poor were 87 million. Now we are being told that we are being threatened by 7 to 9%, which is 181 million, which they have doubled the poverty rate. So where is the savings? Where is all this thing? We were brutal in imposing hardship on people, yet they have no gain for their suffering. We need explanation. Our contractors, today we have operating 3-year budgets, 2024, 2025, 2026. The past 2-year budget, the capital releases are not up to 10%. And 2026, nobody knows what happened. The only thing here every day is one fake ministry, one fake agency, one fake this. What is happening here?
Give me an idea, Mr. Pedobi. This government seems to have done a few things right on the macroeconomic side. But the microeconomic, a few of the indicators are not in the positive. Do you acknowledge that they've done foreign exchange? There's an improvement in those areas. And you look
what is the impact on the average Nigerian?
Do you think they have done well?
Sure, this thing can benefit portfolio investors. It can benefit those who are portfolio investors.
Does it have FDI?
That's what I'm saying. It can benefit them because you have high interest rates, you have a reserve that they can take back their money so they can come and invest in it. But what we are looking for, Shehu, we want long-term investment that will be a win-win for the poor people, for the foreigners. And that can only happen when you do the right things, starting from the fundamentals.
So you
don't do things that are benefiting the 1%, even less than 1% Nigerians who already had enough. So what you did is that you're creating mass poverty while enriching the tiny things and outsiders, which I'm not against.
If you win election today in the 2027, Mr. Obi, you will be inheriting this economy.
Yes.
Have you given a deeper thought on what you will do? Because Nigerians will not want to listen to any excuse. You know the state of things. What would you do on your very first day in office that would dramatically change things?
So we have said it before. You are not hired to give people excuse. Because I have an idea what it is. I'm not going to give them excuse. They will just see things start changing. When they were removing fuel subsidy, when they were stabilizing floating the naira, which will bring in a lot of money and everything, when they were increasing taxes, when they were increasing, one thing they did not do, which is what you need to do immediately and drastically, is to the same brutality in which you are dealing with this, to deal with corruption.
You think this government is corrupt?
Oh no, look at it now. Fake ministry, fake agency, fake this. Every day,
is the government corrupt or the leadership of this country?
No. I don't know what is happening. We have a mess. Nobody is explaining it to us. Let me give you an example. They said that in 2025, that we granted 34 trillion custom waivers. You saw it. So how can you budget 54.9 trillion, call it 55 trillion, and then there's 54 trillion waivers. Even the revenue custom made was just 7-point-something trillion. So we granted almost over 4 times their revenue as waiver. And we granted over 70% of our budget as waiver. The money we borrowed. So these are things that I'm explaining. What is the impact of this waiver on the life of average Nigerian?
Will Peter be the man who will tax the poor to help tax the rich to help the poor?
Basically.
That's what you will do.
I will do that. And I will explain it to them.
You will tax the rich for the poor to be comfortable.
It's not for the poor to be comfortable, to make society work for everybody. What you do, if I'm going to grant waiver, when custom is making, say, 8 trillion, and I'm going to grant waiver of 10 trillion, which is almost 100%, more than 100% what they're doing, I will explain it to the public. Not talk of 400% without the explanation, which included the importation of food and kill my farmers. I would rather use that resources to support my farmers and make them more productive. That's the way it goes. So you go on. IMF came and said, we have 8. Remember, that money we're talking is almost over 70, almost 8% of our GDP. Which country can give 8% of its GDP as waiver without expansion? So IMF came and said, we have unexplained 8.8 trillion that it was out of budget. Again, nobody's explaining it. You have somebody coming to speak and saying, when will Nigerians start hearing the voice of the man they voted for? That's why I said, it is time for him to say, I have tried my best. Let me go home and rest. Have peace.
Let me ask you quickly before we go on another break. The electricity challenge is a big deal. And without it, the manufacturing sector, even our society will not run well. Every presidential candidate over the last years have promised stable electricity. Yet, decades later, Nigeria still struggles. I'd like you to give Nigerians tonight a realistic timeline, not a political promise. How would you ensure that Nigeria will experience reliable, stable 24-hour electricity under a Peter Obi presidency, and how long will it take you to achieve this?
We will not give them, I will not sell them, I'm going to give them reliable,
stable 24-hour.
24-hour within 4 years is impossible. Because if you want to build a power plant, it will take you about 4 years to build a power plant. If you want to improve our transmission line and improve it will take you a number of years. Same thing goes with all your distribution. But remember, I said within 4 years, we'll be able to generate not less than 10,000, which we are doing today. We're generating more than 10,000, but we are not able to transmit that. I said we'll be able to generate not less than 10,000, transmit and distribute that. And we're going to do it by a variety of means. We're going to do it through a variety of means. They're doing it everywhere, all over the world. Embedded power.
You went to Egypt.
Yes.
The lessons that you taught. What specific thing would you do? Let's assume in the first getting into office. Let me give you an example of what Geometric is doing in Aba. You need to replicate that in different areas. In Kano, for example, where you have a problem with power generation to drive the industries in Bombay, Shadan 1, Shadan 2. You do that. Imagine doing that in about 4 or 5 locations. Little things we need to do. Today, we are owning power generating companies trillions of naira. Every day you read, government have approved to pay them, government is very bound to pay them, government, we haven't even paid them. When you promised and said, in 4 years, if I don't give you reliable 24-hour power, don't vote for me. Shehu, the man who promised is not even telling us why. He's not bringing people to say they are sorry. Or they explain to us. These are what I'm saying. Our politics must change. If we vote Peter Obi, let Peter Obi come and tell us why he's not delivering what he promised. What I'm promising, Shehu will deliver. Where is going wrong, even before he gets to that stage, I'll come and explain it and tell people what is going wrong. Well, give me a moment. We'll go on another break. But when we come back, Mr. Peter Obi is a man who says that he wants to cut cost of governance. For example, will he be flying those planes in the presidential fleet? If not, what will he be doing? How else will he cut cost of governance? That's going to be our focus. Moment now with this period too much time in an event we're speaking. You people said that you're not going to do anything. That those who think what you meant is that there will be negotiation with terrorists, there will be negotiation with aggrieved persons. What exactly did you mean? And when you said Nnamdi Kanu did not do anything, is that a right statement to make?
Want to but I said, everything. What I will find this person with any group. You call terrorists. There's so many parties. There's so many sections of Nigeria that I sit down, discuss and talk with them, and when I exhaust reason, I will take action. Simple. We once here said we want to deal with militants and start recruiting, reforming them and everything. The same thing, we will look at everything. And then when we finish, we will deal with it decisively. That's what I said. I've never said, Nnamdi Kanu is the said. Go and look at his comments. I was one of those called names. But that's not my issue.
But they say you have never condemned the activities of IPOB, the killings, the attacks, and all of that.
So, go and check my record. I said,
are you able to condemn them now, right now?
Listen,
those killings.
Remember what I said. Whoever is killed anybody is a criminal,
including IPOB.
Once you get a proof that they did it, they're doing what is wrong. Simple. This is me.
Do you think Nnamdi Kanu's activities or some of his actions were wrong?
Of course, yes. Of course, yes.
If you become president, would you do something different about Nnamdi Kanu's case? You said the man did not do anything.
Everybody.
He cannot be criminalized because
no.
He just spoke.
No. Remember what I said? They're holding a fine now. They said he spoke. I won't do it. I will take them to court. I won't even go outside to arrest anybody. If they're in any country, like they've done with the other man, I will complain to that country and say, these people are destabilizing what we're doing. We follow the law. If the court grants them bail, we'll obey it.
It doesn't matter whether they're Igbo or also Yoruba.
It doesn't matter where they're coming from. Whether it's Igbo or anything, I will give them due process of the law.
Would you forgive Nnamdi Kanu?
If the law, if I take them to the court,
would you grant him clemency?
No. If I follow the process, and that is possible, I will do that. Not just him. The law has to apply, even to me. We must do things according to rule of law. We cannot stay in a country where court grants people bail. We said no. Court does this. We said no. If court grants you, bail, like they've done in El-Rufai, you go home. If I feel we cannot manage it, you can go to your house and we secure your house. There's other people who can hold you on house arrest, but we cannot put you in detention where you don't have access to your family.
Are you able to forgive Kenneth Okonkwo?
I don't have any issue with Kenneth Okonkwo.
You've taken him to court.
Me?
You sued him?
No. Cheryl, I sued Kenneth not because of what he's saying. He said there are things he will say that will be worse. So I'm only suing him to say those things. So we cannot continue to preach what we are not. I want those who have things that P2B have done wrong that will make him not to be president of Nigeria to bring it out. You know, I'm a Christian, I'm a Catholic. When we go to marry, we announce in the church, if you know what will not make this man to be a good husband, come and tell them. So that's Kenneth Okonkwo saying he has information that he will release to the public, and that will be the end of P2B. And that's, so you might even have some. So I want you to bring it out. Because otherwise, we'll vote people in. When they go in, we'll start saying, oh, they did this, they did this. This is time for everybody to come and say, what P2B did that is wrong. And if it's proven, I go home.
The claims that you...
Other than that, I don't have any issue.
Yeah, the claims that you kept money in safe havens as released in the Panama Papers. What are you able to still...
Panama Papers. There was something, let me remember what it's called. There's nothing. It's a clear and well-articulated family savings. Clear, it's documented. It's not something that is...
So the money is yours?
So it's documented.
And it's still there now in the tax haven.
There's nothing called tax haven. I opened an account while I lived in the UK and start saving for what I call family estate. If you go there every year, maybe this year because I don't have an income, I save a portion of my income. Then when I was governor, I saved for Anambra State. So as an individual, I'm saving for my family. That's the culture we should build, but I should be encouraged. It's nothing. You see, we go into things that are not listening. If some people have said, oh, maybe it shows you're corrupt, or maybe what came to come, any other person will say, no thief sees what they can steal and leave it. That's why even when you go to church, they say, mind your phone. Not because those people didn't come to church, but because they have the temptation that if they see what they can steal, they steal it.
But it's a code of conduct issue, Mr. Obi.
No,
what was released in the Pandora paper that you did not disclose it?
No, it was clearly,
did you declare?
No, it was clearly declared.
When you were governor?
No, code of conduct did not say that if you own a house in the UK.
Offshore assets?
No, I said, let me tell you now, it didn't show that if you own a house in the UK, you should sell it immediately you became governor. It's not true. Let me tell you, I listed my assets overseas. It will shock you. Code of conduct actually said they will go and investigate it. And they went and saw it. So leave that. You see, everybody wants to investigate Peter Obi. We are left $150 million. Can any other person who finished here come and say where he left? Nobody asked me to save in dollars.
But why is it that your successors never appreciated it?
No. Do we appreciate the honest in Nigeria? Do we appreciate what is good in Nigeria? It's a country that has become criminalized, that even those who are honest are not the ones who are suffering. So if you come and show it to you, the money I saved in Anambra State, that dollar, if it was there today, it would have been almost getting to $1 billion.
But you and your family benefited also in some of the investments you made. For example, in the brewery.
How?
Didn't you?
Shall go and investigate it? You people just...
You said it yourself that some of the shares were bought in the name of the family business.
We're not that we are. It's like going to say I bought share in a bank, and I asked the company, and I asked the place that I am to put money there.
And you're a director in that same company
how do I put money? I save money in Fidelity.
You don't think that it's a conflict of interest?
No. I saved money in Fidelity. I have 3 banks that saved money, which included Fidelity. I'm also a shareholder in Fidelity. So what is conflict of interest in it? Shall we let other people save even in their house and give it back to us? You see, that's what I'm telling you. Even you, shall we, as journalists, you should encourage what is right. I saved money. Other people took it. Other people took it. They never saved their time.
So Peter Obi is not corrupt.
I would save now.
Mr. Obi, you will say you are not corrupt.
Tell me. I said, go and show me where their money is missing. There are other people. Show me another person who saved. If you can show me somebody who saved $15 million, 10% of what I saved.
So you were a rich man before you came into power?
Of course, yes. Till today. Till today, by us and globally, not just in Nigeria.
Let me take you to one of the things that you preach very well. That,
yes.
Look, people who are in public office, you talk about office of the First Lady, that you don't believe in it. So you are not going to have an office of the First Lady. You talk about cost of governance. When you were governor, you did not believe in having a liaison office in Abuja or Lagos. You stopped it, almost $1 billion worth of investment. You said that is not going to happen. The presidential fleet, you don't seem to like that idea. If you become president, what would you do differently in terms of cutting of cost of governance?
There's too much waste in our governance. There's too much corruption. There's too much. That's why people are fighting to go to office. Any country where people in office are richer than their businesses, there's something wrong. Anywhere where businessmen in the country see people in government as more important than them, that place is not working. I'll drastically cut the cost of government.
How would you do that? What would you do specifically?
Let me give you an example. Our president bought plane for over 300 billion. That year, the most important measure of development, call it 3 of them, education and health. And when you come to health, the most important sector of health is primary health care. The cost of the plane he bought was far more than the amount budgeted for primary health care that year. In fact, the cost of that plane, if you go to 2024 budget, right, the capital vote for University of Ibadan Teaching Hospital, which is our premier teaching hospital, University of Nigeria Nsukka Teaching Hospital, Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital, University of Lagos Teaching Hospital, University of Ilorin Teaching Hospital, University of Jos. I want to take it to one at least. 6 of them put together is not up to 15 billion. So use 20% of that to buy plane, which you rarely use. Say, I will not do that.
If you become president,
to have a cancer
what would you do with that plane?
Listen now, say, don't worry what I do. Say,
would you fly it?
A cancer center, a complete cancer center today, with all oncology and everything, is about 5 billion. And we have less than 12 in this country of over 200 million people. A third of that money will buy 20 new cancer centers. What are we talking? We must shut down this waste and deal with issues that will protect our people, will serve our people properly. I will say we have cut cost of governance. I've done it in the States. In my first 4 years of being governor, I used 4 OCs from beginning to the end. Go and verify 4
Not
OCs.
bulletproof.
No. 4 OCs. You're talking about 4 OCs. You're talking about bulletproof. Which way will you buy? Have you ever seen 4 OCs bulletproof before?
So if you become president, you will not ride in a bulletproof car?
No. I will use it, but I'm saying, I'm giving you an example where I've been before. You just said it that I shut down our Amazon office in Abuja because it was costing us money. We didn't have money to keep it. I did not see reason why Governor of Anambra said, you have a house in Abuja. We're doing the American system. Go and show me any state in America where the governor have a lodge in Washington. What are you talking? We need to start being realistic. It costs more, this place, to keep our government officials than it costs overseas.
So, office of the First Lady, you will cancel it?
There's nothing called office of First Lady anywhere in the world. Not even in America.
So,
it's in name. No.
With you?
I say not even in America. It's in name. It's just something you call First Lady. It doesn't even have, what is office of First Lady? Did we vote husband and wife? That's what I'm saying. You must dismantle all this nonsense. The person seeking vote today is Peter Obi. Not Mr. and Mrs. Obi. And that's why I said I'll be communicating. My wife will remain my wife, is First Lady, and we are close. I love her. But not to come and have another separate office and then maybe moving around, creating additional confusion. No. It's me that is being voted in. So I can deal with things I promise the people.
The presidential fleet, we have about 10. There are some that are unserviceable, and there are those, and the reasons why they said they bought a new one. What would you do in that? Would you be flying economy, or what? I mean,
it doesn't
would
matter.
you be flying private?
It doesn't matter.
Or flying public?
It depends on where I'm going. We can have, for example, say there's so many registered airline with Nigerian name, registered airline, who are going to places. You can encourage them. Mandela came to UK with South African Airways. That at least I know, famous Mandela. And there's so many people, so many visiting health that are coming here. It doesn't cost you.
So you will not use this brand new presidential.
Let me not say where we will cut costs, but I can tell you we will cut costs. We've done it before in Anambra State. Everybody saw it, and it worked. And we can do it because we need money for education.
One of the recurring criticisms from your critics, especially those who are economists, policy analysts, and fact checkers, is that your vision is not about your vision, it's about the accuracy of some of the statistics and international comparisons that you cite. They argue that your figures occasionally lack context or rely on different reporting periods. They create misleading impressions. How do you respond to those who say your strongest political asset, your command of numbers, is also one of your biggest vulnerabilities?
Can you give an example?
They talk about how you cite China and some of those figures, that you mix those figures, how you cite figures of Malaysia and Singapore.
People like talking just... in Nigeria, because we live off the confusion, people like confusion. If you say P2B is wrong, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm a learner. A leader must be a listener and a learner. So if they tell you, they then give you the particular figure or the particular this, and then we'll compare it. So yesterday, somebody came to me and said, oh, our foreign reserve is above 50 billion. We're doing so well. I said, well, when I met the CBN governor on occasion recently, I thanked him for his monetary policy. I told him, I said, you're headed in the right direction, but the physical side is still reckless. And as long as they remain reckless, whatever you're achieving is being undermined. We'll continue doing what they do. And I thank him. And I believe he said it from my heart. But I told the person, but it's not something we should celebrate as if we have won the world. That in 1975, so this country, 74, 75, had more reserve than China, than South Korea. Today, more than, in fact, you can say we have doubled them, both this country. In 1974, we lent money to IMF, World Bank, Nigeria, as a country, 74. In 75, that we have more money, more reserve than these two countries. Today, China have a reserve of over 3.5 trillion. And South Korea, they have a reserve of over $400 billion. So we shouldn't say 50 is good. We're happy. But don't throw it as if we've won the World Cup. No. We've not. Right. We're just trying to come out of probably our own mess. I compared again and said, if you look at these two countries' GDP per capita, then we're better off. Today, they are 10 times better than we are. So, if you see those figures, Google them, come and check, tell me, Peter, I'm wrong, please. I studied and learned, but they say, oh, his figures are wrong. What he said is nonsense. Oh, this is just like they said, but what is he talking about? Saving money. He did not save money. His predecessor said he didn't see the money saved. I didn't save money in foreign banks. I saved it in 3 banks in Nigeria. Access Bank, which you have friends there. I have 12 billion naira there, $50 million. Fidelity Bank, which you have friends there. I have 12 billion naira, $50 million. Diamond Bank, which Alexoti was MD then, $50 million. These are things you can go down the street and say, hey, this man who is selling a lie said he said this. But instead of going to do it, somebody goes to TV and say, hey, it's like he said that somebody said, I will divide Nigeria. The person who is saying he has not visited anywhere in Nigeria. She I'm everywhere.
Let me ask you quickly.
This weekend, this weekend, I've gone from Anambra to Enugu to Ebonyi to Cross River to Imo to Warri, Delta, 6 states. The people are just in their house, comfort of their house, one place, eating sumptuous meal, and go to TV in the evening and be calling you name. And that's why the country is not working. Because rather than celebrate and encourage merit, goodness, competence, compassion, capacity. They celebrate the opposite.
Let's quickly wrap up because of our time. What would you say is your biggest lesson in 2023?
Well, there's no lesson because they say we don't learn anything from what is wrong, except to say this does not happen again.
But I mean, there are those who say that to defeat Bola Tinubu, you need to coalesce, to work with others. Are you able to work with Atiku Abubakar or the rest?
Sure, I'm ready to work with everybody, but my biggest group I need to work with is the youth of Nigeria, the young people of Nigeria, and I'm urging them to know it is about their future. We cannot continue this way. We must build a future for them, and that future will only come by electing a competent leadership with capacity, compassion, the character and commitment to do the right thing and stay with it.
The reality is that presidency comes with tough choices and tough decisions. Every administration eventually disappoints part of the electorate. How would you communicate or explain painful reforms?
There's painful, yes, sharing. Painful reforms must come this way. You ask the people to fast. You fast with them. You can't ask them to fast when you're feasting. So if you ask people to sacrifice, you should be the leader of the sacrifice. You can't tell people, I've removed subsidy. You go and buy a jet for 300 billion for yourself. I've removed subsidy, you go and buy a yacht. Put it in the sea and be furnishing your palaces. That's not how you do.
You will not do that.
Never. As I said, I bought for the judges, the pansexs, everybody, forces. I was using it with them for 4 years. When you tell people to fast, you fast with them. If you tell them to sacrifice, you sacrifice with them. You must be the leader of what you're preaching. So I said, when I come in, I will fight corruption brutally, and I will show it, I will leave it.
Mr. Obi, Kwankwanso for you is a big asset that you think can help you win the election.
Kwankwanso is not, don't say it's an asset to me. Kwankwanso is an asset to Nigeria. Kwankwanso believes in pulling poor people out of poverty. A combination of us will tackle the issue of poverty. He believes in education. He believes in healthcare. Kwankwanso believes that poor people should be given a chance. And that's this country. We must give the young people, poor people, a chance to live.
Finally, the obedient movement changed Nigerian politics. But some critics have argued sections of the movement have sometimes been intolerant of opposing views. Have you done enough to discourage political hostility among your supporters?
Let me tell you, the obedient movement is not just my supporters. The real obedient movement are people who are tired of status quo, people who don't like what is happening. They even even when I take decisions, they don't like it. They criticize me. There are people who have been subjected to a extent where they are annoyed with the entire system. And you have to bear with them. They are frustrated. They've seen the world. Listen, I go around. What is happening here is that our leaders don't go around. How many times have you seen senators going to Plateau where there's bomb? How many times have you seen them going to IDP camp? How many times have you seen them going to where there's flooding? I was in Taraba in Ibi where there's flooding. How many times have you seen them going to where in Zamfara and everything? Your oversight function is in NNPC. Nobody goes to where there's a problem. I go where there's a problem. When there was explosion in Ibadan, go ask Makinde, I was there. This one they kidnapped him. Ask him how many times I called him. Ask the other governors. When there's issue, I go to where there's issue. But we always say, here, I want to invite, if there's that's why we have fake agencies, fake this, and all that, fake employment, fake police. We can't live that type of life.
Mr. Obi, what would you want to be remembered for if you win the presidency?
for turning Nigeria around and putting it on the right path that will lead to its growth.
If you lose this election, what would you do?
What would I do?
Would that be the end of the road?
Well, I won't say what will happen.
Would that be your last time of running for presidency?
Well, it depends on who wins. It depends on who wins. But I can tell you, I'm coming to the end of it because I believe that the younger ones should be allowed.
In 2031, you'll be 69.
68, actually, by the time it ends. By 68, 69. So by the time it ends, it's about 68, 69. So if you add that to another 8 years, I will be 78, 79. I don't think I'll have the energy I have today because that capacity is very, very, very important. It's critical.
All right. Mr. Peter Obi, imagine it's your inauguration day. What would the first day look like for you?
Well, it will look like the first day I started in Anambra State.
And what would that look like?
A day of deep reflection and thinking.
What would be the first action you would take?
No, the only action I've told you from day one, cutting the cost of governance.
Mr. Peter Gregory Obi, presidential candidate of the NDC, it's a pleasure having you talk to us on Channels Television.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate it. That's our conversation with the NDC presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi. As always, the choice of who leads Nigeria belongs to the people, and that choice is best made when citizens have the facts, hear directly from those seeking their mandate, and weigh their ideas against the challenges facing the nation. We hope tonight's conversation has helped you do just that. The debate about Nigeria's future is far from over, and here on Sunday Politics, we'll continue to ask the difficult questions, test the promises, and hold those who seek public office to account. And thanks everyone for watching. I'm Sean Wakimale. I'll see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. Good night, and God bless Nigeria.